everybody. Welcome to RPM, Rock and Pop Mandolin, your site for learning classic rock and pop tunes and even blues tunes on this wonderful little 8-stringed instrument. My name is Mike DeJong, and yes, we're taking a look at a blues classic today in this lesson called Sweet Home Chicago, originally done by that blues legend Robert Johnson way back in the day, and later made popular by Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi in the movie The Blues Brothers. So I'm going to kind of show you the Blues Brothers version of the tune. Eric Clapton also did a wonderful version of this song as well. You should check that out. But I'm going to show you the simplified version here on the mandolin in this lesson. But first, before we get to that, thanks very much for checking out the channel if you're new here. But don't hesitate to hit that little red subscriber button down there in the lower right corner of the screen. It really helps this channel to continue to grow. Also, if you are a returning subscriber, thanks very much for coming back. But please check out all the links down below because some of them can help you become a better mandolin player, including the link to my Rock and Pop Mandolin, Learn Rock and Pop Mandolin video lesson series. It's still only $29.99. We've sold almost 100 of those, and lots of people say it's really helpful for beginner to intermediate mandolin players. Again, the link is down below, and it's only $29.99 still. Also down below, you'll find links to my affiliates like Sweetwater and Amazon, and also the Johansson Mandolin site. Links are down below. And finally, if you're looking for tab for this song or over 150 other rock, pop, blues, jazz, Christmas songs, whatever, you can find them over on my Patreon page. The link is down below. It's Patreon Rock and Pop Mandolin. All right, you can find all the tabs over there. But that's enough business. Let's take a look at this blues classic called Sweet Home Chicago mandolin version here on RPM. All right, Sweet Home Chicago mandolin version here. I'm going to show you a simplified version of it, just with a couple of licks. Of course, there's many other licks that you can learn from the Blues Brothers version or even the Robert Johnson or Eric Clapton versions of the tune. Check those out if you want to, expand what you're doing. I'll show you some simplified stuff. The song is basically a 12-bar blues in the key of E, and the intro starts like this. Okay, that's the Matt Guitar Murphy intro. I think he does the intro in the Blues Brothers version. So what am I doing there? Well, I'm taking a couple of double stops here first. So this one here is the 9th fret of your D string. All right, 7, 8, 9. 9th fret of the D string, which is a B note, right? So here, and then you're also putting so you're using your 3rd finger for that one. All right, if you can see that, your 3rd finger there. And then your 1st finger on the 5th fret of the A string, which is a D note, all right? So that works as kind of an E7 double stop, even though you're not playing an E there, you're playing the B and you're playing the D there, all right? So, okay, so I'm just going, in terms of my right hand, like that. Okay, then I'm sliding that configuration down to the 7th fret now of your D string and the 4th fret of the A. So there, okay, so, and it's just one hit there. So on the first version, and then the next time you go, okay, so what's that? So that's that lick again, right? Then really quickly on that one, and then so that's only on the D string. That's the 5th fret and the 2nd fret. There's your E note there. So, okay, just like that. Now I'm going to pull in a classic blues turnaround kind of thing, and I'm keeping it simple again. Now, Matt Guitar Murphy on the guitar, he's finger picking it, and he's using a few more notes than I am. I'm just going to go like that. So just on the 2 middle strings here, you could, if you want, make it a 7 chord, an E7 by pulling in your pinky there, but I'm just going to keep it simple for you here. And in fact, you can even let that E string open ring out, right? Because it works over this E progression. So, right? So I'm just going from the 6th fret here of the D. I'm kind of walking 6, 5, 4, 2 on the D string, and then there on the A string, right? So that's 5, 4, 3, 2. So, right? So 6 and 5 there, and then 5 and 4, 4 and 3, and now quickly jump down to the 2, 2. That's your E chord, right? So, and you're just going like that, up, down, and then, okay, so I'm doing something a little bit different from what Matt Guitar Murphy does right here. After I go to here, I'm going, okay, so I'm going, and going into a B7 chord there. So that's A sharp, B, right? So that's 2nd fret on your G string, 3rd fret on the G, and then a B7 chord quickly. Okay, so that's 2, 1, 2, 2. Okay, B7 chord. One more time. Right? And you could even hit that full E major chord down there, which is 1, 2, 2, and then into that B7 chord. So one more time, the intro. Like that. Okay, so that's the intro. It's fun enough. And now you're going to go into the main part of the song. It's basically, like I said, a 12-bar blues in the key of E, a 1-4-5 as well, if you wish. So what does that mean? Well, basically, you're just doing 12-bar blues with 3 chords throughout the whole song, mainly. So E chord here, and then an A chord there, and a B chord. All right, that's really all you need for this song, all right? So, but I'm going to embellish it a bit the way that Matt Guitar Murphy and Steve Cropper do. So you're going... like that. Okay, so what was I doing? Well, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's a basic blues pattern with your E chord there, 1, 2, 2. And I'm also pulling in my pinky here on this 4th fret of the A string. It's giving you kind of a bluesy shuffle chord there. I think that's an E6 chord. So it's going... Okay, and then you go to the A chord here, which is 2, 2. And you could also bring in this 4th fret here to make it a more fuller A chord, but I'm just trying to concentrate on these 2 strings here, the 2 lowest sounding strings. So let's do that, okay? So we're going... Then A. Okay, so... And I'm using all downstrokes here, if you can see that. Okay, so I'm utilizing these 2 strings here, or I'm utilizing a bar to cover these 2 strings, and then I'm bringing in my 3rd finger on the 4th fret. And again, just try to hit these 2 strings here. Don't worry about those other ones. See, I'm just hitting those 2 strings. You could do it like that, but it doesn't really sound as good to my ear to do that. So just do this. Okay, and then you're up to this next fret, which is the 4th fret. Same kind of thing as you did with the A. You're going to bar across the 4th fret these 2 strings, these 2 notes, and then bring in your 3rd finger here, which is the 6th fret now. That's a B blues pattern. I guess a B to a B6 blues pattern, A to an A6, and then E. And then that same little turnaround that I showed you at the beginning of the song, right? Okay, so that's it. Let's do that one more time. So you're going... Oh, what did I do there? Well, I added another note to that little pattern, which is pretty cool. Again, it's a common blues technique, so... like that. Okay, so that's basically the 6 to the 7 in the chord, but on the fret, in terms of frets, it's the 4th fret and the 5th fret. So you're hitting that A, and you're bringing in your 3rd finger on the 4th fret, and then your pinky finger on the 5th fret. And each time you're going back to that open one there. You see that? Okay, and then back to... like that, okay? So one more time through the whole pattern. E, A, E, E, A, E, to B, A, E, the B7 chord again. All right, now if you want to throw in a few little licks over those chords, because they're so simple, basically, you can do something. You can do something like that. So you go A, back to the E. So what am I doing there? So I'm sliding up to the 4th fret there on the G string, right? And I'm kind of getting a double stop with that open D string as well. Like that. So I'm going. So that's 4, 2, open, back to your E. So one more time. It comes here. It's kind of a transition before the second time you go to the A chord there. Now, I think Matt Guitar Murphy actually does it a couple of times. He goes more like this, I think, in the Blues Brothers version. I'll show you. So he does it a couple of times. Like that, all right? But I'm just keeping it simple for you. I'm just going then to the A. Same thing here, like that. Now you could do it here too. You could do it there if you wanted, but I didn't on my original or on the beginning of this video. Now, one more thing. On the A chord, Matt Guitar Murphy or Steve Cropper, one of the guitar players, does a little pattern like this in the original song or in the Blues Brothers version of the song. Right, so that's over that A chord, right? So you're playing your A chord, and you can do. So what is he doing there? Well, he's taking these two notes here. It's basically an A7 pattern here. So you're going from the 5th fret to the 6th with a hammer on. So 5, 6 to the 2. You're jumping up to that 2 there on the D string. And then the 5, 5, 4, 2. Like, see? And then open to 2. So one more time. And then back to the E again. I did a little bit differently there. Experiment with that little lick if you want to try it, and listen to the Blues Brothers version. You'll hear Matt Guitar Murphy or Steve Cropper. One of the guys is doing that lick throughout the song. All right, there's one other part in the Blues Brothers version of the song where they just stop. They go. Right, they do like a pause part there. And basically it's just that E chord. Like that. But on the final time, the 4th time, they do an E7 chord, which is basically just taking your 2nd finger off and leaving that D open. You see how that leads to the next chord? So they go. And I'm just going with my strumming. and then 7. Like that, double time. Like that. All right, that's it. That is Sweet Home Chicago, Blues Brothers version. A really fun song to play on the mandolin. Hope you guys enjoy that. If you did, leave a like on this video, and don't hesitate to subscribe if you haven't already, and check out all those links down below. Thanks very much for tuning in again to RPM.